of y'all doing today?
Hi, good, thank you.
I'm doing good. Y'all was eating in the movie. You was giving me looks, and you was being a badass. When are we getting an action movie?
Listen, this is my toe dip, you know, into the action space.
Brilliant toe dip.
We gotta dive deep.
Listen, I would love that. Honestly, I think it would be
Brilliant.
fun.
You are brilliant at moving.
Thanks.
Okay, we manifesting that. So we gonna talk again when you're doing your action film.
Right.
Okay. It's
Manifesting,
done.
we're putting it out
Done.
there. It's happening.
Putting it to the universe.
I'll just be there to watch.
I was like, us? Are
We
we
can
both
team
doing
up.
it?
Let's do. You can do it. It could be a whole
Someone.
duo. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Listen.
Okay, we gonna shop it
Good
out.
idea. Dude, I'll have your people
Thelma
call my
and
people.
Louise are like really bad shit.
But one of the things that I love about both of your characters is they're very outspoken people. They are not for the mess. And I wanted to know, for the both of you being in this industry, what was kind of that moment, or what was the thing that kind of gave you strength to have agency over yourselves, to be able to speak up and fight for yourself?
Amazing question. When was your moment?
I don't know. I feel like it's sometimes a lesson you have to learn quite young. I feel like I was a kid, you know, thrown into a very adult industry, where, you know, if you do have a perspective or something to say, you're like, oh, well, they're a kid, you know, and then you just have parents and they're like, well, they're just their parents, you know, so you have to learn how to protect yourself quite quickly. So I think for me, it's like a lesson learned quite early, where you know, back in my Disney days, of like how little tricks and little things I could do to protect myself, or protect my peace or my happiness, because I don't know, I think when you're a kid in this industry, you're very vulnerable, you know, and I do wish I could have just been a kid for a little bit longer, but yeah, the lessons happen very early, and I don't know if there was a specific moment. I don't know if I can think of the specific moment now, but it definitely happened pretty young, you know, having to have your own back a little bit.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think I came in like 17 was my first movie, so I was like a young adult. I was like a teenager, and then I think there was the flip side of that, of people knowing that I had no clue how the industry worked,
Right.
but I was still quite young, and so I don't think. I mean, I was always opinionated, but I don't think it clicked or clicked that I had more power than I actually thought I did for quite a few years later.
Right.
I mean, I knew how to stand up for myself
But it's still
to the world, but I didn't know
you-
that I could
right
at work.
At work.
Because
Or
there's
say
this,
no.
Yeah, there's this idea that is kind of like heavily drip fed to you from the very beginning, that you are replaceable. And you should
agree
feel
with
lucky
that.
to be here. And even if you have this role, there's always this, in your mind, there's always this threat that, like, if I don't perform 100% in every aspect of where I need to perform, and that includes being good, I might get replaced. And it's just this weird thing that's like pushed on you at the very beginning, and it works for many, many years. So it takes some time for you to realize that maybe it isn't the case anymore, and like you can be the person that says whether they are replaceable or not. But that takes a long time. But yeah, I think that stayed for a while.
I also had like it's random, but like I had a wonderful on-set teacher
Well,
who was very adamant about like
how?
safety, breaks, time, like, and so she's like an aunt now. Like I still talk. Shout out to Monique. But yeah, she became like family. But it was just someone to advocate for the kid. That's like, no, they need to take a break.
Yeah.
Like, or no, that's too dangerous. I don't want them doing that. Or, you know, they have school. Like, they need to go to school. So yeah, and you'd be surprised how like that's not common practice in this industry. So.
Well, shout out to her. But I mean, also too, like with your character, you know, she's on a path that they've laid out for her. And for both of you, like being in this industry, people like to put you in a box. So I wanted to know, like, how do you make sure that you're living life on your own terms instead of living for the wants and desires that others have for you?
It's definitely something that I've had to remind myself of in the last few years. Like, I think for me, a big portion of figuring that out was my dad always said when everything was going crazy and like I was just doing job after job and things were coming out and it was amazing, my dad would always be like, make sure you have time to smell the roses. And even though that's like crucial to understand what you've created and be proud of it, it was also crucial for me to do that so that I understood my worth and like I understood that I had weight in conversation and I had weight in my opinion. And I think like that took a long time for me to click in, but definitely that's something that's only happened probably in the last few years of being able to contribute to it, I suppose. It's a funny journey though in here. It's not necessarily like easy because there's so many power dynamics as well as being on set and also, you know, outside. But I've also been very lucky that I've had a great team that have supported me through and through all the way.
Yeah.
Which really does help.
I mean, I think for me, I'm still figuring that out. I think we're always kind of forever figuring that out, you know. I think, again, feeling like I came into an industry quite young, part of it is like, did I have a choice? Like, right, is this really for me? And, you know, but it's all I know and it's all I've ever known how to do. And so I think for me, it's learning what does make me happy, like is it all about making everyone else happy or what does make me happy? And I think that that's something that I think as I'm growing up and becoming a woman, you know, more and more, I'm still trying to figure out and still trying to harness and understand about myself. And I mean, hopefully I'll figure it out, or maybe I won't. I don't know. It's I think everyone at any point in your life you can have those kind of realizations or understandings about yourself, and I call them like butterfly moments, you know, because that's what it's like to be a human, you know.
Look, I just want to thank you so much for your responses. Thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
It was really lovely. I mean, great
so
questions.
much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling love in like both your ways. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
You too. And your glam is amazing.
Yeah, you
I love the cranberry
y'all.
tone.
Okay.
You are.
Like,